Hey everybody, this is Andrew from REI Live Columbia, and we're coming to you today from Columbia to talk local investing. So those of you who don't know REI Live Columbia, it's our local Columbia, South Carolina networking and education group for real estate investors, agents, contractors, investors, landlords, all that, wholesaling, you name it. This is where we come together to get better with our businesses, help each other out, and to just have a little bit of fun too. So today, we're very lucky. We've got Travis Rollins on here. Say hey, Travis.
How's everyone going?
Good.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure he can hear me, so we're good. Travis is actually a good friend of mine. We've known each other since college. We go way back. But he is killing it with investing in real estate, from mobile home parks, student housing, flips, rentals, you name it. Mostly from like Columbia to Charlotte, which is where his business functions as well. So we'll talk a little bit about that. His main business, that is. So I'm going to jump in here, and if you guys have questions, we are recording this video. So if you have questions, just put them in the comments or in the notes, and we'll come back. We'll follow up and we'll do some Q&A through the Facebook or YouTube channel. So guys, pay attention, listen, take some notes if you can. And if you want to see Travis, he'll be at our REI Live meetings whenever he can, but you can always reach him through here. So Travis, again, thank you for being here. Can you just start off by telling me a little bit about your real estate investment business? What are you guys doing now?
Sure. We I have a business partner. We got into the real estate side of things about 7-8 years ago. We have, like Andrew said, student housings to commercial properties, strip malls, down to mobile home parks. We have done, flips, renovating flips, and we've built from the ground up. So we've done a little bit aspect of all type of investments. We've been on the financial end, on the financial side of investments, and we've been on the construction side of the investments. And we've learned a lot over the last 8 years, trial and error, knowing what not to do, when to do it. That's the best learning, and best advice is you have to just jump in and try it. But we've dabbled into every aspect of it, every different type of properties, to being a landlord, to just doing a flip, or being just the finance side of it. So we have experience over the last 7-8 years doing all aspects of the real estate side.
Yeah. So sounds like you guys got a lot going on. So what made you jump in? What made you take that first step into real estate?
Well, we did it. My brother's my business partner. We decided as a small business owner, where was our retirement coming from? And the people that we knew who were successful was landlords and people who own property. And we wanted to be a copycat. And people say if you copy the right cat, it's okay. So we went and learned from people who have been in the industry and tried to copy what they did as they were getting out of the industry. And we did it mainly as retirement. And real estate is something that we feel is always it's a job, it's hard work, but we feel that there's a return. And that's why we jumped into it, because we don't have a 401k. We're not in the big Fortune 500 companies. We're a small business, and we had to put something back, and we figured that was the best avenue for us.
Yeah, that's amazing. So it's funny you say for retirement. That's how I started investing, and how my wife and I, that's what our plans were. Real estate was a retirement vehicle, because we didn't really trust what was going to happen with the stock market, 401ks, and Social Security. I guess will be welfare before long. But Social Security, we didn't trust it would be there. But and then we transitioned to, this is our job. This is our full-time job. Like you said, it can be a job, but there's a return for it. So that's awesome. And a lot of people getting started will go in and they try to analyze all the pieces and parts and try to make like the perfect move, perfect decision, go on the right, perfect path before they even get started. And it kind of paralyzes them, so they don't actually do anything. But you've done a lot of different, avenues, commercial, mobile home parks, lending. From somebody that's been doing it for a while and experience, what do you think is your favorite? I mean, this is subjective, guys. It's subjective all the way around. But what is your favorite, Travis?
Well, the easiest is being a lender. It's a little bit more stressful, but you take a lot of the day-to-day grind out of it if you're just able to be an investor or a lender on that end.
Yeah.
But you got to have your resources in place. If you jump into it and you don't have the right subs, or if you don't have the right management team or people that can help you, it can get overwhelming. So the lower end of housing can be a better cash flow, but it can cause a lot more maintenance issues. But the higher commercial ends is the insurance and property tax hurt you a little bit more on those. So there's no easy way. So don't ever think it's easy. But I like the financial side of it, but it's a little bit more stress. But you got to have the funds to do that. But all of it's rewarding if you do it right and you don't have speed bumps along the way. And everybody's different. So try each and every one of them. If you have a passion about it, you may like the landlord side, or you may like the flipping side, or the building side. So just to each is their own. So just we still do all aspects of it. If it's a good deal, we'll try it. But that we tried all of them, and that's the best way that I enjoy it, because I handle the financial side of just being a hard money lender. If it goes good, then that's a good home run for you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so guys, that's not what you're going to jump into. But like you said, when you get everything else under your belt and your resources right, then you can really start to enjoy it a lot more, and stress or work, the day-to-day job gets less when you start lending.
Oh yeah, Andrew, going back into what you said, we started, our first properties was a mobile home park, and that was the first properties we bought, and that was rehabbing and getting it all usable and rentable units. So the first 5 years until we got the cash flow coming in, those were grinds. We had the resources and the people in place, and that's what we jumped into. Was a little bit not a house, or it was a park that we went and saw the upside to it before we could do other ventures.
And that was how many units in that park?
It was 10 units, 10 trailers.
That's awesome. And how did you acquire that one? How'd you buy it?
Well, like I said, we got networking with a couple people that were in the business that were looking for retirement and getting out. And we joined a relationship with them and was able to acquire them for their portfolio, and took them over and piggybacked off of what they've been running. And they had, hundreds and hundreds of units, and we just kind of network until we got, to learn from them, because we didn't really know how the real estate market went. We were pest control people, but we learned from them, and we acquired a little from them, and that's what we started with. It was just networking. You got to get out and find the people that are willing to part ways with, good investment properties, because there's come a time when everybody's going to want to sell or retire and get out of the game, and it's just finding those right people. Yeah,
at the right time sometimes. And you said the key word there, networking. That's a big part of what we do and preach in REI Live is when you're trying to get it. It all starts with a good deal, right? I mean, that mobile home park was a good deal. But how do you get to that good deal? It's so many different ways, but networking is free. I mean, essentially free. You didn't have to send postcards. You didn't have to cold call or go knocking on doors or driving for dollars or any of that. Networking is like, it's free leads. And it takes a little bit of time, some cultivating, but networking is a big part of our business, and obviously it was your business. So it's a crucial part of what we talk about. So I love that you said that. And going on that, I wanted to just for you to give us one thing. If someone, because I know you talk to a lot of younger people in your town that are coming up looking to do real estate, like what is one thing that you would say for people to start? If they haven't done a deal, just getting interested or read a couple books, but haven't taken a step, what's your advice?
My advice would be to, before you jump in, is make sure you talk to someone that's in the industry that you trust, and let them look at the deal, look at the numbers, and get their advice. Because they've been through it. They probably have, if they've been in it long enough, they've had some really good deals and they've had bad deals. And trust, get people around you that understand the market. And then when you see a deal come to you, don't be scared to go and say, hey, this is what I'm looking at, and let them look over it. Because, advice is free. And if you get people at REI Live, Andrew, there's plenty of people that are networking here that have maybe already had some deals where they can look at, and don't be afraid to go and just ask for advice. Say, what do you think? They can help you out on the negotiation side, or what may come up in the future, a year down the road, getting into a property. And that's my advice is, don't ask people who are not in landlord or real estate. Ask the people who are doing it, because they know the valleys and the hills, so they can advise you which direction to go. Is my advice.
Yeah, it's perfect. That's I concur completely. Get somebody's advice. Just ask questions. Don't be afraid of it. So, Travis, I do want to kind of transition from that. Getting started in the business, and to ask you and kind of let you share a little bit of what your real business, your real small business, the Rollins Pest Control. Why are you guys different, and why? Just kind of explain, because I try to tell people, but you're going to do it a lot better. Why is you being our partner, like you are in our properties, why is that so helpful? What is it that you guys do better or above and beyond the next guy for pest control, for us landlords and investors?
Yeah. We've been doing this pest control company. My father started the company 28 years ago, so this is all I know. And we bridge the gap from the landlord to the tenant. You don't know what's going on in your property, and to have someone that you can relay information to is helpful. And that's the way I look at it. I'm a landlord, and we have properties all up the spectrum, but you're not responsible for keeping bugs out of their house or anything like that. But it's good to know that someone who's in the industry is going maybe once a year or once every 6 months to do just a thorough one-time treatment that can give you feedback on the shape or the quality or the stress that the house could be under, where you don't know that as a landlord. And some tenants are leery of that, and I understand that, but it's your property if you're renting it. These are for renters and landlords. That's a good way to, like I said, bridge that gap, so you know what's going on in the home. And make sure it's staying up to value. And then on the if you're purchasing or remodeling before you buy one, it's really good to have a professional go and look at it to make sure you're not jumping into something that has a lot of termite damage or moisture damage. We do it on our properties that we buy, and we do it for so many landlords up and down from Charlotte to Columbia who are looking to buy a property, and they say, hey, go give me we call it a pre-check, go give me an inspection to see, what am I getting into? And we're not contractors, so I don't have any skin in the game to tell you if you need repairs or if you don't need repairs, because I'm not going to do the repairs. I'm just going to let you know what I see up under it. So be leery about that too. If you're hiring, if you got somebody now that is looking at your properties, if you're already a current investor and they're doing the repair work, they got skin in the game to tell you something needs to be repaired. I don't do repair work. I'm just going to let you know what we see. And we can do termite bonds to help sell the home, and we can do letters for the lending institutions if you're buying money. If you're getting money to purchase the property. But unless you're crawling up under it and you're a professional eyes, there's so many little hidden things that structurally will help you on the resale or the longevity of that rental that you're going to keep. But that's what we are. I tell all my landlords that I'm your bridge. I'm not. If you call me and say, hey, can you go spray or go treat, one-time treatment, just give me a little info of how everything's looking around the home. I can do that. My guys can do that. And it's just a way for you to hold people accountable. So, when they move out, when they will move out one day, that you don't walk into a mess that's got a lot of repairs and a lot of issues, and that you can get it back right for the next renter.
That's right.
So rebridge the gap is what it is. We're that line of communication, and it's very cost effective for the value of it. And that's the main thing. But you use me a lot for the inspections and make sure you're not getting into something that you got to rip a whole floor out or something on that end.
Right. We're doing a flip project. We definitely do the pre-inspection for termites, so we know, or even in the crawl space, so we know what needs to be fixed when we go to the flip, when we go to do it. And then we'll get that termite bond when it's time to sell it, because we'll fix everything. For the rental properties, like Travis said, guys, we have him come. Some of our properties he comes twice a year, but at least once a year, because that's just another set of eyes that the tenant is not. They're not as on guard with him and his crew when they come as they are if I was a landlord coming, or when our property manager comes to check. So they might open up and tell Travis some things, some issues or something like that, or they might not clean up like they would if the property manager was coming. So he gets a real true look at what the property looks like and what kind of tenant we have. And if we have a tenant that's hoarding and making a huge mess, and cats and dogs pooping all over the house, we need to know those things. And so they'll let us know, hey, this tenant's gross. You might want to think about getting a new tenant. They could do that for us. And again, we do it for that reason, but also for just protecting the house. If there's a bug problem, we don't want to wait for a tenant that's been in there for 3 years before we find out. So they're there every year. Roaches can be crazy to get rid of once they get going. Fleas are not fun. Bed bugs, of course, all those things, and rodents, rats, that kind of stuff. If you don't have somebody looking for that, give that a couple years of the same tenant, and it's a big mess to clean up. So we appreciate all that Travis and his guys do, and having them as being investor minded is huge. It's just huge. The conversations that Travis and I will have about the house we're buying or already bought or have rented out, we're talking to another investor, so he understands. So it's amazing, helpful for that, and that's why he's in REI Live. That's why Travis is part of REI Live, part of this group, and he's a go-giver, willing to help and answer questions for anybody. So Travis, that's pretty much it for us. If there's anything else you want to say for the REI Live group, you got anything?
Hey, just keep us in mind, and make sure, just to piggyback off of what we said, make sure that you are watching out after your properties, because we see a lot of properties, especially with our large landlord groups, that some of these tenants are good, and you got great tenants, and then you got some that cost you more money for the neglect that they don't tell you, and it's just good. And if it's not me, if it's somebody else, just get eyes on it. It could be your landscaper that's going out there, but have somebody you trust that's relaying information back to you, because it is your property, and you're the one paying taxes, and you're the one paying the insurance, and you're the one that's going to have to fix it up or try to sell it when times get tough or whatever happens. So that's my last piece of advice, is just to make sure you got somebody who knows what to look for looking at after your properties, because you may be in a different town, you may never even go by the place after you rent it. So just be leery of that, and just keep that on your mind. And like I said, that's what Pest Control, for the price that we're going in for, is a good bridge to have. Yes. Awesome.
Well, Travis, I appreciate it. Thanks for being part of REI Live. And guys, this is recorded video, so we're going to post it in the group. But put questions, comments, concerns, any of that, put that in there, and then Travis and I will be able to answer you through the Facebook group. So, and if you need anything, I'll put Travis's email address so you can reach out to him, and then the company phone number So if you need that, but other than that, guys, look, this is REI Live Columbia. I hope this was helpful. It's local. It's live. We're here talking with real investors and how you can be better in your business and learn from our mistakes. So appreciate it, Travis, and look forward to seeing you soon, man.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thanks. Bye.